We all have them stocked in our fridges. Men don't like it. Women just get hooked.
That's me. Okay, here we go. Stand by, please.
Mm-hmm. Just one moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go roll.
We are in Washington, D.C. with the Diet Coke freak, Margot Kidder. That Western look about you today, I guess the western part of Canada is where you did a lot of your growing up, isn't it?
Well, actually, mostly I grew up in the northern part of Canada.
Quebec area first?
North of Quebec.
Ah.
To Americans, when you say northern Canada, they go, Northern Canada? I think most Americans think of Canada as rather large North Dakota. But no, I spent, from 14 on, we were in the West, and my brother was a real cowboy, not a fake one. And so, I don't know, I just like these clothes.
You look very comfortable in them.
Thank you.
Motion picture making has been important to your life, not only in the pictures in which we have seen you as an actor. I mean, the whole act of making movies is an important one to you, isn't it?
Well, it's the most thrilling of all the arts, I mean, in my view, because you not only get the visual that a painter gets, or the music that a musician gets, or the playwriting that a playwriter gets of the dialogue and the actors, you get them all. And you get to mix them and play with them and take this color with this sound and make a patchwork quilt of a multitude of the arts and put it together and make it, one hopes, a piece of art. And
Actually,
it's pretty exciting stuff if you do it right.
That act of putting together has been an interest. Film editing has been an interest to you,
Well,
hasn't
film editing was one of the many times I quit acting because I wasn't very good at the BS part of it. You know, that sort of kissing the behinds of people I wasn't so sure about. And I was never terribly good at that, and I was always kind of insecure and felt I wasn't cool enough or suave enough or whatever it was. At any rate, the first time I quit, I thought, well, what can I do with my life? I can't be an unproductive human being. Oh, I know, I'll be a film editor. So I was very blessed in that Bob Altman and CBC allowed me to apprentice and to learn it. Now, I'm too impatient and selfish to actually spend the time in the room to get the little degree or whatever you call it to do it for a living. But I learned more about acting, writing, directing, camera work, every aspect of filmmaking in the editing room than one I could possibly ever have learned anywhere else. It was a great experience. A year and a half I did it for. I was in there like a mad fiend every day. I loved it.
That difficult part of acting, the BS factor that you were talking about a few moments ago, how have you now handled it?
I moved out of Hollywood. I moved.
That simple?
Well, it took me a long time. I mean, you see, I think of myself as an actress and an artist who's not yet fulfilled her potential more than a movie star. I'm not really a very good movie star. I'm not real cool and suave and glamorous or any of those things. My most important job in life is being a mother to my daughter. And living in an environment where, as they say, the great line about Hollywood is you're not happy, you're hot. It was a value system that just never felt in sync with my own heart and soul. Which is not to say that the people who live there and work there and have made their peace with it, there's anything wrong with them. I couldn't make my own peace with it. And I tried, and I tried, and I tried. And I couldn't, so finally I just left.
Richard Harris recently told me that he thought Hollywood should be in Detroit.
Well, I think I'd rather be in Detroit than Hollywood, frankly.
Well, of course,
I rather like Detroit.
He was talking about
it's a business town.
Yeah, the business.
It's a business, and it can be quite wicked sometimes. I mean,
he was talking about the assembly line too, however.
Very much so. I mean, there is, unfortunately, for some reason at this point in time, there is an adversarial situation between those putting up the money for the movies in the studios and the actual artists who are making them, as opposed to there being an alliance between the guys who run the studios and the artists, and let's do this together, which I gather from reading is how they did in the old days. At this point, it seems to me, and I could be wrong, that they're the suits, as we artists call them, sitting having their lunch in the fancy dining room, griping about the actors and the writers and the directors and what a pain in the neck they are, and we, the children, sitting on our side griping and complaining about what insensitive oafs or whatever our BS is they are. And I don't think it's a very productive way to work. And I think that as a result of that, you you turn out films that are less worthy than either of the two sides. You come out with all those Rambo movies, which I must say I find kind of evil. You come out with Porky 19 or something because you compromised in order even to just sit across the table and talk to each other. And I think it's something that's got to change. I mean, it's just got to change. And my instinct is that the new scene of independent filmmaking, like Platoon, look at the Oscars this year. There wasn't one of those movies that was backed by a Hollywood studio. Not one of them. They were all rejected. They went out and got their own money. That we're going to return now to first the independent financing of movies, and then finally a peacemaking, if you will, between the suits and the children. That would be my wish.
Christopher Reeve, just a few moments ago, addressed the issue of being concerned over the first couple of Superman movies about being typecast in this Superman role, which I know concerned you too in your role of Lois Lane. Did it not?
No, I
Was there
started
some
acting
concern
at 15, and I've done 32 or 31 movies and hundreds of television shows, and Lois is certainly the most normal person I've ever played. And people I respect in the industry have seen the other work I've done. Much of my best work in films that never made money or saw the light of day, but work that I was proud of. And so, given that I don't have to carry these movies on my shoulder like Christopher does, I mean, Christopher's got the whole movie on his shoulders. It was his first movie was Superman. I mean, he was in a far more precarious and difficult position than I was ever in. To me, it was yet another character. I mean, I'd done zillions of them, and here I got to do another one.
How did you feel last night? What do you think about that whole display?
I felt like a 10-year-old kid last night. I didn't know it was going to happen, you see. No one had told me I was going to be a girl from a small mining town in the north in the Smithsonian Institute. I mean, I was just tickled pink. I got a big kick out of it. I felt like a very immature child.
It's
and I wanted to bounce up and down and go,
It's
yay.
interesting to finally become a part of North Americana, isn't it?
It was pretty amazing. It felt good, yes. I was thrilled to bits. Can't wait for my daughter to come see it. Hey kid, you know all those times I yelled at you? Well, I'm not so bad, look.
Mom's in the museum.
Mom's in the museum. She can't be that bad.
Margot Kidder, thank you so much for these moments. Enjoyed it.
Good to meet you.